Hello, welcome to our module 7. So this is going to be our last module in this health and safety training course. So noise, vibration and vehicle safety. So what are we going to cover in this module 7? There will be 3 parts: noise, vibration, vehicle safety. So in the first phase, noise at work, health and safety risks, the control of noise at work regulations 2005, the hierarchy of control, personal protective equipment PPE, and hearing protection zones, types of hearing protection, and employee responsibilities. The second part will be vibration at work, heal health from vibration, the control of vibration at work regulations 2005, the hierarchy of control, employee responsibilities, and the last one will be vehicle safety, legal duties, description of vehicles and transport at work, vehicle health and safety risk, and safe use of vehicles. Let's dive in now. Loud noise at work. More than 2 million people in Great Britain are exposed to unacceptable levels of noise at work, according to Health and Safety Executive HSE. Now, if you work in a noisy environment, such as construction, manufacturing, or in a music venue, or if your work involves listening to loud sound through headphones or earpieces, your employer should make sure that you have hearing protection. So this is your right as an employee. So you should make sure that you have hearing protection. Now, your employer is obliged to take steps to protect your hearing, and including making sure that you have hearing protection. Now, health and safety risks. Noise at work can cause temporary or permanent hearing damage that is disabling. Now, this can be gradual from exposure to noise over time, caused by sudden, extremely loud noise. People often experience temporary deafness after living a noisy place. Although hearing recovers within a few hours, this should not be ignored. It is a sign that if they continue to be exposed to the noise, their hearing could be permanently damaged. Noise at work can interfere with communications and make warnings harder to hear. It can also reduce a person's awareness of his or her surroundings. These factors can lead to safety risk, putting people at risk of injury or death. Now, the control of noise at work regulations 2005. What the law says to all employers. The control of noise at work regulations 2005 require to employers to eliminate or reduce risks to health and safety from noise at work. Now, depending on the level of risk, you should take action to make sure you reduce the noise exposure, and also provide your employees with personal hearing protection. Okay. Now, other duties under the regulations include the need to make sure the legal limits on noise exposure are not exceeded. Make sure that you maintain and ensure the use of equipment you provide to control noise risk. Provide the employees with information, instruction, and training. And make sure you carry out health surveillance, monitor workers' hearing ability. Now, the regulations apply where work activities expose people at work, your employees or other workers affected by your work activities, to risks to their health and safety from noise. Now, how can you control noise? As an employer, You must assess and identify measures to eliminate or reduce risk from exposure to noise so that you can protect the hearing of your employees, as explained before. Where the risks are low, the actions you take may be simple and inexpensive, but where the risks are high, you should manage them using a prioritized noise control action plan. Where required, ensure that hearing protection is provided and used. Any other controls are properly used. You provide information, training, and health surveillance. Now, how is the noise measured? This is very important. Noise is measured in decibels, dB, decibels, and a weighting, sometimes written as a dBA, is used to measure average noise levels, and a C weighting or dBC to measure peak impact or exposure noise. Now let's explain a little bit what is a dBA. A dBA is a weighted scale for judging loudness that corresponds to the hearing threshold of the human ear. Now, although dB is obviously commonly used when referring to measuring sound, humans do not hear all frequencies equally. Now, for this reason, sound levels in the low frequency end of the spectrum are reduced as the human ear is less sensitive at low audio frequencies than a high audio frequencies. So now you might just notice a 3 dB change in noise level because of the way our ears work. Yet every 3 dB doubles the noise, so what might seem like small differences in the numbers can be quite significant. Decibels can be adjusted to human hearing. Noise level is thus described in decibels A, dBA. Now the effect of noise vary with the noise to which a person is exposed. Prolonged exposure to loud noises, 75 dBA over 8 hours a day for years, can lead to hearing loss. This is very high. Now the body can also respond to lower noise levels. Sleep can be disturbed by an outdoor noise of 40 dBA. The hierarchy of control. The hierarchy of control is a step-by-step approach to eliminating or reducing risks. It ranks risk controls from the highest level of protection and reliability through to the lowest. Employers must control noise in line with the following hierarchy of control measures. Make sure you eliminate the source of noise. Substitute noisy plant with quieter plant or processes. Isolate the plant or use engineering controls. Use administrative controls. Provide hearing protection. And employers must apply each level of the hierarchy so far as reasonably practicable before moving down to the next control measure. This means employers cannot go straight to hearing protection to control the noise without applying the higher level control measures so far as reasonably practicable. Now let's speak about personal protective equipment, PPE. Now, hazards to the ears from noise come from a combination of sound level and duration of exposure. Very high level sound are a hazard even with short duration. Now, the two most common types of ear PPE are earplugs and ear defenders. Earplugs are small, compressible items that sit in the ear, while ear defenders are similar to large headphones that surround the ears and are kept in place by headband. Now, crucially, hearing protection should not cut out too much noise to the point that workers can't communicate or hear important sounds such as alarms. It should also fit securely and comfortably in conjunction with any other necessary PPE such as eye masks and helmet. Earplugs, meanwhile, should always be clean before use. Choose protectors that reduce noise to an acceptable level while allowing for safety and communication. Now, hearing protection zones. When employers are required to establish a hearing protection zone to protect workers from the risk of suffering hearing damage or hearing loss due to exposure to excessive noise, under the Control of Noise at Work Regulations 2005, employers are required to provide their employees with personal hearing protection such as earmuffs if their noise exposure is likely to reach or exceed the upper exposure action values set out in the regulations. Now, if the employees are likely to be exposed to noise at or above the upper exposure action values, the employer must also ensure, so far as is reasonably practicable, that employees fully and properly use the hearing protection provided. Also, if the employees are likely to be exposed to noise or above the upper action values, the employer must designate or identify and indicate the relevant area as a hearing protection zone. Now, under the noise regulations, the hearing protection zone must be identified. It has to be marked with suitable signs where possible. The employer also has a general legal duty to ensure that no worker enters a hearing protection zone unless it is necessary to carry out their work. The employer must also ensure, again, so far as reasonably practicable, that no employee enter the zone unless they are wearing appropriate and suitable personal hearing protection. Now, a hearing protection zone can be a fixed location or be mobile and can be permanent or temporary, depending on the nature of the activities and the source of the noise. Now, HSE's guidance says that whenever possible, hearing protection zones should be marked with signs warning workers that hearing protection must be worn. Now, the signs should be placed at all entrances to the zone and at appropriate places within the zone as necessary. HSE says this might include attaching signs to tools warning that workers using them must wear hearing protectors, providing employees with written and verbal instructions on how to recognize where and when hearing protectors must be worn. For example, designating particular tasks or operations as ones where protectors must be used. Now, the types of hearing protections: equipment that can protect your hearing: ear protectors, ear plugs, ear defenders, and kernel caps. Protect your ears from loud noise by reducing the levels of sound reaching your ears. If you are exposed to unavoidable noise, you should use earplugs or ear defenders. Attenuation is the term used to describe the amount of which ear protectors reduce sound. Attenuation can be measured as the amount that the hearing protection reduces sound but at different pitches. Now, this may be combined into an overall measure of attenuation, such as the single number rating S&R. For example, most industry standard earplugs carry an S&R of between 25 and 32 dB decibels. Now, how ear protectors work? Now, the ear protectors you choose should provide enough attenuation to protect your hearing. Usually, the packaging will show the level of attenuation that they provide for different frequencies. Most give greater protection at potentially damaging higher frequencies, 4 to 8 kHz. But remember that in real situations, the attenuation is probably less than stated, as they will have been tested in ideal circumstances using brand new protectors that fit well. Now, earplugs for the catering industry. Now, if you work in the catering industry, you can get earplugs that can be detected using a metal detector if they fall into food. Let's speak about employers' responsibilities. Now, the Control of Vibration at Work Regulations 2005 came into force on the 6th of July 2005 under the Health and Safety at Work Act 1974. Now, the employer's duties under the regulations are similar to the previous HSE guidance. You, as employer, you should ensure the health and safety of employees, carry out a risk assessment, have a hierarchy of measures to achieve control, provide information, instruction and training for employees, and provide health surveillance. Now, by law, as an employer, you must assess and identify measures to eliminate or reduce the risks from exposure to random vibration so that you can protect your employees from risk to their health. Where required, ensure that control measures to reduce vibration are properly applied. You provide information, training, and health surveillance. Review what you are doing if anything changes that may affect exposures to vibration where you work. Okay, so let's speak about vehicle safety. Now, the law requires employers to assess and manage the risks associated with workplace vehicles and transport to ensure the safety of employees and other people who may be affected by vehicle movement. Now, under the Health and Safety at Work Act 1974 and the Management of Health and Safety at Work Regulation 1999, employers are responsible for ensuring that their workplace is safe and that employees are not exposed to unnecessary risks. Now, this includes the safe movement of vehicles and transport in the workplace. Vehicle safety. Employers are required to conduct a risk assessment to identify the hazard associated with vehicle and transport movement in the workplace. The risk assessment should take into account the specific characteristics of the workplace, such as the layout, the type of vehicles used, and the number of employees who may be affected by vehicle movement. Now, this includes assessing the risk of collision, the risk of injury from vehicle reversing or maneuvering, and the risk of injury to pedestrians. Now, employers are required also to conduct a risk assessment to identify the hazard associated with vehicle and transport movement in the workplace. The risk assessment should take into account the specific characteristics of the workplace, such as the layout, the type of vehicles used, and the number of employees who may be affected by vehicle movement. Now, employers are required to implement measures to control the identified risks. This may include implementing traffic management systems such as one-way systems, traffic lights, and speed limit to reduce the risk of collision. Employers may also consider installing barriers and warning signs to protect employees and other people who may be affected by vehicle movement. Make sure you provide training. It's very important. So the employees need to be trained. Those who drive vehicles in the workplace, they need to be trained. In addition, employers are required to ensure that vehicles used in the workplace are maintained in a safe condition and that regular safety checks are carried out. This includes ensuring that brakes, steering, and light are in good working order and that vehicles are clean and in good condition. Employers must also ensure that transport arrangements such as the loading and unloading of goods are carried out in a safe manner. This includes providing adequate training to employees on the safe use of equipment and the safe handling of goods. Okay, so we have come to the end of module 7. So well done to have come so far. Next, so we're going to test your knowledge. Please choose the correct answer. Number 1. There'll be a lot of questions here. In which part of the ear does injury occur due to excessive workplace noise? A. Eardrum. B. Rhynchus. C. Cochlea. D. Semicircular duct. Number 2. So you've got to complete the extent of damage to the ear from excessive noise mostly depend on the and there. So you choose the correct answer. It's either frequency of the sound and the direction of exposure, or rate of vibration, length of noise level. C. Intensity of the noise, duration of the exposure, dBA, okay, decibels rating, distance from the noise source. Okay, so you choose the correct answer. Number 3. Workers must be informed if noise exposure levels are too high. False or correct? Okay. Number 4. What action should be taken when the noise exposure level is too high? B. A. Providing necessary information and where relevant training. B. Employees should be sent home. C. The company should be closed. So which one is the correct one? Number 5. How long should a worker be exposed to noise? 5 weeks? 2 days? Every employer shall reduce the risk resulting from exposure to noise to the lowest level reasonably practicable. Number 6. Noise over a long time can damage your hearing. Can this damage be reversed? A. Yes, with time. Yes, if you have an operation. No, the damage is permanent. D. Yes, if you change your job. So you choose the correct answer. Number 7. If you have to use a vibrant tool, what should you expect your supervisor to do? A. Measure the level of the vibration while you use the tool. Tell you about the risk assessment and explain the safe way to use the tool. Watch you use the tool to assess the level of vibration. And D. Help you to make up your own safe system of work. Number 8. If you have to use a vibrating tool, how can you help reduce the effect of hand-arm vibration? So you choose the correct answer. Hold the tool tightly. Do the work in short spells. Do the job in one long burst. Only use one hand on the tool at a time. Number 9. Why is vibration a serious health issue? A. There are no early signs. The long-term effects of vibration are not known. There is no way that exposure to vibration can be prevented. Vibration can cause disabling injury that cannot be cured. Number 10. You are less likely to suffer from hand-arm vibration if you are very cold but dry, cold and wet, warm and dry, very wet but warm. Number 11. Hand-arm vibration can cause skin cancer, skin irritation like dermatitis, blisters on your hand and arms, damaged blood vessels and nerves in your fingers and hand. Number 12. What are the 3 early signs of vibration white finger? temporary loss of feeling in the finger, the fingertips turn white, skin rash, tingling in the fingers, blisters. Okay, so this is the end of our health and safety training course. I hope you have enjoyed your training. Also, don't forget your end assessment coming up in the next video, so make sure you click on the next video for your end assessment. So thank you and well done. Congratulations.